What is up, everyone? I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and we are live talking about everything going on in Yankee world right now. There have been a couple of rumors, a couple of reports, nothing crazy that's come out over the last 48 to 72 hours regarding the Yankees and their current pursuits, where they're at in different free agent or trade conversations. If you are here, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for returning to the channel, coming back for one of these streams. If you're here and you're on the YouTube or the Twitter, comment in the chat. Let's go Yankees. Let's get a little roll call, a little head count going here. Appreciate you guys spending your Sunday evening here. We're going to keep it to like the 45 to hour mark. It's a Sunday night. There's Sunday night football. I don't want to impede on whatever teams you're watching or whatever you're doing on this beautiful Sunday night. But thank you again for stopping by. We got Stetson O saying go Yankees. Aiden DeVio, this was back at 3 o'clock when we scheduled the stream, saying I think we need to get Bellinger. Yankees and Cubs just agreed to the trade package and which players or pitchers they're going to send, and the Yankees need to figure out of their sending cash to the Cubs. Yeah, I think the Yankees and the Cubs, they're in an interesting situation where, these are two organizations, these are two teams that have a pretty extensive history trading with each other. But if currently, they're stuck on financials, and understandably so, the Yankees want the Cubs to eat X amount of money. We want the Cubs don't want to eat a ton of the money. They don't want to be on the books that their primary goal is to shed payroll. The Yankees' primary goal is to get what they believe could be a rather inexpensive short-term commitment for a pretty high quality, not high quality, but a solid left field option that can boost their lineup and play first base if another outfield option comes onto the market. That's a lot more attractive than what's out there at first base. So, I think these two sides will come to an agreement at some point, but, I don't think the Yankees are holding themselves they have to get Cody Bellinger. I think they just think this is an avenue to get better. This is a player who's going to get traded. And I think these two teams at some point, one of them has got to blink. And while we're on top, we should just get Bregman and put him at third base and Jazz in right field. But if they don't want to do that, then get Santander. The problem is putting Judge in left field doesn't work. Putting Judge in center field has worked, but not to a great effect. His defense is just not phenomenal out there. It's very below average. And then Dominguez's defense in left field is below average. I think the Yankees would target someone who can play and field the left field position at an above average clip. But I do like the idea of bringing in Bregman. I just think that'd be coupled with a first baseman and an outfielder. John Baziniga says, look, cash in the pitching, but nothing has been done yet to improve the offense. Look, I understand. I think that the Yankees need to go out and build up their lineup, but I think that, you have to give them time to allow that process to occur before anything builds up and builds out. So are the Yankees done? Are the Yankees done dealing? Absolutely not. It's December 15th. I'd be shocked if the Yankees' last move was Devin Williams. I read where John Heyman said the Yankees and Cubs were $10 million apart on how much the Yankees want to pick up. The Cubs pick up Bellinger's remaining salary, so I guess that means they're kind of close. Well, $10 million is a pretty significant gap. You don't just sneeze at $10 million. $10 million can get you a high-quality reliever. $10 million can get you, a position player if you a certain type of position player, kind of like a bridge position player, whether it's a Jorge Polanco, a Max Kepler, that kind of player. It can get you multiple relievers, we're being honest. You can get, maybe a Tim Hill, maybe a cheaper guy. You can do multiple things. $10 million is a lot of money. And also when we talk about the deadline, the deadline, having financial flexibility under the fourth and third thresholds allow you to make additions without exceeding a certain threshold and putting yourself under certain penalties. And I know that people talk about this is money, it's not my money or whatever it may be, and I completely understand. Look, I'm not of the opinion that the New York Yankees, that fans should be holding the Yankees, should be pocket watching the Yankees and going, well, we don't want Hal Steinbrenner to spend too much money. But what it is important to know is that spending money affects other things. It affects your draft capital, your ability to go out in the international free agent market, and teams clearly have budgets. So, I certainly think the New York Yankees are going to be cognizant of any money they spend, and I think they're going to be cognizant of the fact that Bellinger, they want to make sure that they can get the Cubs to hit a certain price point with the money they're eating. Bellinger or death. I certainly am not to the point the Yankees should be beholden to trading for Cody Bellinger, but I do think he makes them better. Let's give the Cubs Heel and Urias and take Belly's contract for them and Tucker. That would be pretty funny. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but that would be pretty funny. Pay Teoscar for left field, Bellinger first base, Horn or second base, whatever it takes. If it takes Heel and Urias, do it now, win now. Well, the problem is, Heel isn't a prospect anymore. He's a contributor for the team. So by subtracting him, you have to add add to the rotation. Secondly, Teoscar Hernandez in left field doesn't really play well. Left field's obviously a very tough defensive position. And finally, I'm not sure the Cubs are as motivated to move Nico Hoerner following the subtraction of Isaac Paredes. They're aggressively shopping for a third baseman. Losing Hoerner may potentially make it harder for them to acquire or have infield depth or improve their roster. I'm worried Santander in left field. They can't get Teoscar Hernandez. I understand. I think he's a good offensive fit. We talked about that this morning on a brief episode I did. But I do believe it's important to note that defense does matter, and his left field defense is quite. It's objectively bad. It's objectively bad. It just is. Watched 161 River Ave several hours ago. Everyone keeps saying a deal is close between Yankees and Cody Bellinger, which isn't true. Jack Curry or Ken Rosenthal will know when a deal is close. I would agree. I think that, the how close this deal is not, I think it's a little bit overblown. I think they've had conversations. I'm fully aware of the fact that there's legitimate interest between these two teams, but I think it's also fair to say that the Yankees, if there was a player to be had, if there was a deal to be had, it would be had already. And I think there are some hurdles they still have to work through that are very, very, very important. Well, right now we have one starting outfielder. Unless we move Jazz center field, something has to happen. I disagree. We have two. We have Judge and we have Dominguez. But, yes, they need to fill out their outfield. Please, Yankees, do something. They're not going to rush to do anything. They've got they've got a decent amount of time. Que lo que, de lo mío. What's up, Jorge? Hope you're doing well. You got Feliz, my boy. Hi, what's up? What's good? Hope you're doing well. Best in the biz. Hey, man, I appreciate the high praise. Let's go, Yankees. Hey, Ryan, we've got a ton of people saying, let's go, Yankees. Let's go. What's up? Hope you're all doing well. I'm going to start trying to jump ahead a little bit, field some new questions. Ryan, what do you think of the Rangers obtaining 3 catchers? I'm not sure who the third catcher they obtained was. I'll check their depth chart right now. From my understanding, it's Jonah Heim and it's Kyle Higashioka. Higashioka just feels like, he's a backup, but he's also a capable starter. And if Jonah Heim is unable to, if Jonah Heim is unable to do his job offensively and isn't as great of a defender as Higashioka is, they can make that swap in season. Tucker Barnhart. I didn't see that acquisition. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was added on a minor league deal. I can double check. If he was added on a major league deal, yes, that certainly makes your wheels start spinning. Is Jonah Heim on the move? That kind of stuff. But I'm pretty confident saying, yes, it's a minor league agreement. I think that's them adding more upper level minor league depth because you can always use a veteran catcher at AAA. My guess is Bellinger will be center field. Hayden, I think, will play left field because I think the Yankees view left field as a more difficult position in the outfield than center field at Yankee Stadium. But you never know. So are the A's trying to get better, or should we hit them up about Lawrence Butler? I doubt that the Athletics move Lawrence Butler. I doubt the Yankees have the kind of piece that would entice the Athletics to move Lawrence Butler. Lawrence Butler is a high-level player. This is a guy who has incredible upside. He has an unbelievable knack for power. He's got great speed. His plate discipline is something that has improved. He's someone who hits the ball in the air quite frequently. He's someone who's just a pretty strong ball player. And if he figures out the corner outfield, which I think he can, I think center field is just not the spot for him, then he could be a pretty high quality player. I mean, this guy could be a 4 to 5 WAR player. I don't think the Athletics are interested in moving someone like that, especially when they're not making a lot of money. And they're the rare left-handed batter in the corner outfield who can hit lefties as well. This is not a strong side platoon hitter. This is someone who can play 162 times at 162 without much concern. Let's get Yandy Diaz, Cody Bellinger, and Nico Hoerner. That's an amazing offseason. Michael, I would agree. Are you feeling Yandy, baby? I love Yandy Diaz. I think he's a great on-base threat. It has the kind of power that I think would play better at Yankee Stadium. Hoerner's an excellent defensive infielder. Bellinger provides you something in left field. I think this would be a really well-rounded roster that can win a lot of games for sure. We've got CWE in the chat. I'm just going to start spotlighting everyone here. I apologize. We've got the Cat Mama saying, what's up? I hear Naylor's being discussed. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Bregman as well. For sure. The Wicked 50 Cal saying, hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well, man. Who are some players you like for second base? This is a fun idea. So Brandon Lau is someone I like for second base. Nico Hoerner is someone I like for second base for defensive purposes. Ha-Seong Kim kind of in the same bucket as a Nico Hoerner. I wouldn't be against bringing Gleyber back at a certain price point, but I think the Yankees are against bringing back Gleyber at this point in time. They seem to position themselves against reacquiring Gleyber. There's some, I'm trying to think of other options off the top of my head. Obviously a Brendan Donovan would be sweet, but I doubt the Yankees have the ammo to get him without adding another starting pitcher, which I guess is possible, but I'd say that I'm not 100% sure the Yankees would sign off on that. I've talked about Edward Julian as a buy low. I've talked about Willie Castro on this podcast before. Switch hitter for the Minnesota Twins. 1-year deal. Could potentially get moved to save some coin for the Twins, who are very, very cheap. Now, Minnesota is an organization that I don't think we match up particularly well with them. I think they need starting pitching. I'm not sure they necessarily need bullpen help, but maybe they're willing to say, hey, we'll take a reliever because we just want as much pitching as we can get. That's something that you can maybe entertain. Could you flip a Jake Cousins for, maybe a Willie Castro or something of the sort? I would prefer to flip a Jake Cousins for someone like a Nathaniel Lowe who has more than 1 year of control, but the Yankees have to go out and make moves that make them better, even if it means making some moves that are uncomfortable. Trade for Brenton Doyle. I do not believe the New York Yankees will acquire Brenton Doyle. I strongly doubt that the Rockies will deal him this winter or anytime soon. Arise sucks on defense. Yeah, Luis Arise. So, one thing I want to make clear about Luis Arise is he's not a horrible baseball player. I actually think his bat would work well at Yankee Stadium because he does have a lot of fly balls that would get out at this ballpark. But the problem with Luis Arise is that he's a very limited offensive player, and he's an extremely limited defensive player. Doesn't play great defense. Cannot run the bases very well. This is someone who is probably going to be a 2-WAR player tops. And because of it, I just kind of view him as a limited player. I don't view him as the kind of player who can be a star level player, and he may get a little bit more than what he might command, a little more than what people think. Kaiman goes, would you trade Marcus Stroman for Jordan Montgomery? It was mentioned on Pinstripe Territory by Derek. Yeah. So, first off, have a great deal of respect for Derek and the content he does. He's really good. You guys should check him out. But secondly, I would want to add in regards to Montgomery, if the Arizona Diamondbacks have an assessment that Jordan Montgomery is better than Marcus Stroman, the $4 million, that they're going to save on Stroman will not cover enough payroll for them to be enticed to make this deal. Now, if Montgomery was making $30 million, perhaps that's something they would be entertaining because that $12 million maybe gets you a starting pitcher. But I do not think the New York Yankees would be able to facilitate this trade, swapping Stroman for Montgomery. I think they'd be able to facilitate it swapping, maybe a prospect and some, not a prospect, excuse me, but like, eating payroll and then, maybe slending a slapdick prospect or just like getting Montgomery as a straight salary dump. I don't necessarily believe the New York Yankees are in position to make that kind of deal. I don't think it makes much sense for them. I think that they need frontline starting pitching if they're going to add any starting pitching. Machado's a bad contract to have. I would agree. I think Manny Machado is a contract that is only going to get worse with time. I didn't love the second extension. I don't think it's great value for him at this point in time. So, we'll see where things go from here, but I don't think the New York Yankees are going to trade for Manny Machado, nor do I think it bodes well for the Yankees to do so. Now, what else did I want to address here? No more contact hitters 2025. Say no to Luis Arise. Look, I'm not against contact. I'm just against the kind of, I'm not even if it costs literally nothing to trade for Luis Arise, would the Yankees be worse? Absolutely not. The Yankees would be a better team, right? That's without question. But would I seek trying to acquire his services? The answer is no, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense for you guys. I don't know if I'm sounding logically sound here, but I don't know if that makes much sense out of my mouth, but you guys can hopefully piece that together and go, oh yeah, you know what? That makes sense. But if it was like you're just eating the money for Arise of I think the $50 million he's owed in arbitration, totally cool with it. But if I have to trade something of value to get him, I'm firmly against it. I don't think that's the avenue you should be dipping into. Ryan McMahon, Colorado. Look, I think Ryan McMahon is a solid enough player, but he's not worth the contract he's getting. And quite honestly, he's not a very good player. He's just right? He's just that's all he is. That really is it. So, yeah. I'm good with Bellinger and Nate Lowe. So, I think that, in my opinion, I think Nate Lowe doesn't fit as well at Yankee Stadium as the way that people think he does, but he's certainly a firmly above average first baseman. He makes the Yankees better. You could always make swing adjustments with a player. You can always have them try to play to right field more. Again, I referenced Juan Soto to say his expected home runs in 2023 at Yankee Stadium were lower than his actual home runs. He comes to Yankee Stadium, immediately has how do I put this? Immediately has a career year, immediately has the best season of his career. So very different. Obviously Juan Soto is a much better player, but Lowell's a high OBP guy. He's the kind of hitter who I would love to lead off in front of Aaron Judge. But quite honestly, I think that the Yankees, I think, actually match up well with the Rangers for Lowell. They have controllable relievers. The Rangers, their big roster hole right now is the bullpen. Obviously, they would love to get a starting pitcher, but it's definitely, and I truly mean this, definitely the bullpen. It is the bullpen. They need a ton of bullpen help. So I think the Yankees and them match up extremely well. Yeah, Lau's a high OBP guy. I'm not against it. So, yeah. Now let's talk about Correa for a second here, because I love Carlos Correa. I think he's an excellent ball player. I just have my skepticism around whether the Twins would trade him. Now, would I eat the full contract and still give up assets to get him? Absolutely. He's a premium player. Carlos Correa is of the ilk of superstar that when you import him onto your team, your roster not only gets significantly better, but you also are looking at a roster where, yeah, you've just got star talent everywhere. You've got this commander in the infield who can play third base. He's a premium ball player, a premium culture setter. He's someone who I would love to import Carlos Correa onto this roster. I don't think it's realistic, unfortunately, but we'll see. And, to a greater extent in terms of the not realistic, Seager is obviously a great ball player. The Yankees would be a better team with Corey Seager. I don't think it's happening. I don't think that would ever happen. Not that it would ever happen. I don't think that would happen for this team. And look, the Rangers are contenders. The Rangers are firmly in the playoff hunt. The Rangers are firmly trying to compete for a playoff spot. You're not going to get their best player in the middle of a contention window. They view this as a contention window. They should rightfully view this as a contention window. They should view this as an opportunity to get better. I firmly believe the Yankees will never, the Rangers will not trade him in the near future. Get me Ketel Marte and Yandy Diaz. Yandy Diaz is very, very, very attainable. It's not the same case for Ketel Marte. Again, the Arizona Diamondbacks, they're in a contention window. They're contenders. They're very good. I think they're going to wait and see how the next 2 years play out. Look, if the next 2 years, they're terrible, we can revisit this, but they're so good right now. They're still a quality roster. They were one game out of making the postseason. And, making the postseason, it is what it is, right? When you make the postseason, anything can happen. We saw this with the Phillies, went to the World Series. The Mets went to the NLCS after, making it on the final day of the season. So anything can happen, anything. I mean, I truly mean this. Anything can happen if you just make it. Diamondbacks very close to making it. They're not going to be moving Ketel Marte. Austin Hayes would be amazing buy low for left field. I like Austin Hayes as a player. I don't know if his bat necessarily plays very well for Yankee Stadium. Now, the reason I say that is because he's a big pull guy. He doesn't necessarily drive the ball either. This isn't a guy with elite level raw power. We can just go, all right, now your game plan is going to be just attack right field and attack it aggressively. I don't think he has that skill set. If you look at his expected home runs every single year he would have either matched his home run total or it would have been dipped below. I think he's better suited for a ballpark where he can pull the ball in the air and take it out the yard. A Houston, a Cincinnati, trying to think of other Tampa Bay even. I think Hayes, he makes sense from a standpoint of can help you against lefties. I view him more as like a fourth outfielder. The Yankees already have a fourth outfielder than Grisham unless they facilitate a trade for Grisham, but that's a lot of moving pieces. Again, it's that he doesn't make the Yankees deeper. It's just that he doesn't have a skill the Yankees should be prioritizing in left field. And he's not like a high quality ball player either. This is a project player. I think there's a more attractive project option in left field. And that would be Max Kepler in my eyes, but I'd love to get your take on that for sure. What do we need outfielders? I'm confused. They have Jason Dominguez in center. They have Aaron Judge in right. There's no set left field on the team. I am not entertaining bringing back Alex Verdugo. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. And I'm not entertaining the idea of starting Everson Pereira every day. I'm certainly not going to do that. And I'm not going to, what's the last thing I'm not going to do? I'm not going to, say, hey, you could throw this guy who's never played the outfield and throw him out there. So I would love to get an outfielder. Trade for Arenado, sign Walker. They can hit to all fields and play great defense. Nolan Arenado's batted ball profile is very much, I need to pull everything to left field in order to hit for any power. I do absolutely love Christian Walker, but I'm fully against the idea of importing Nolan Arenado. It would take quite the offer. It would take hey, here's Nolan Arenado and Brendan Donovan for literally nothing. I'd be like, fair. Or Lars Nootbaar and Nolan Arenado for literally nothing. I'd be like, okay. But I don't see that happening. That doesn't make any sense for the Cardinals. It makes no sense for the Yankees. I don't even think the Yankees, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't love Nolan Arenado for this team. So yeah. Negative thing with Sonata is a horrible defender. Cody's way better. Cody Bellinger's a better fit for the Yankees. Absolutely. But it is truly a tragedy that the New York Yankees don't have a defensive spot for someone like a Teoscar Hernandez or an Anthony Santander. Chris Bryant's not cheap. He is $200 million. He's got so much money owed to him. He can't stay healthy. The opposite of a player I'd like for the Yankees to target. Schmidt for Donovan's a fair trade. Absolutely agree. I think, the Yankees should look into it if it's possible because they should be able to get creative. It's something where if you signed a Walker Buehler, right, it would be awesome. So, I think the Yankees should keep all options open. They should keep all options open. They should be willing to make any trades and then corner the starting pitching market. Thoughts on Taylor Ward? Now, I hope I don't piss anybody off by saying this. I hope that, this isn't a controversial take, right? I think Taylor Ward is such a good fit for the Yankees. And I say that because he has all the kind of like projectable, tooled up things that you want in a hitter. He hits the ball hard. He was, in the upper percentiles in quality of contact data. He had a high sweet spot percentage. I'm sorry. He was in the 99th percentile sweet spot percentage. He barreled 13% of batted balls, average exit velocity of 90.9 miles an hour, a chase rate in the 94th percentile. That's someone who can lead off for you, someone who can hit in the middle of your lineup. I know he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he plays pretty strong defense in the corner outfield. His bat is something where, like, I know it doesn't quote unquote play at Yankee Stadium, but it's not like it's like going to dramatically fall off at Yankee Stadium. The one year you could have made the case for that is 2022. But outside of that, I mean, this is a guy who just hammers the baseball. This is a pretty freaking good hitter. And I would love pretty freaking good hitters. As for Ward's availability, Mark Feinsand reported a deal was close for an Angels outfielder and that Ward is among options who could get moved. Now, I firmly believe that Feinsand jumped the gun. But I think Ward would be such an excellent get for the New York Yankees. Something to note about Ward, he does have some opposite field power. He can drive the ball the other way. I wonder if it's something where, the Yankees are able to, go out and facilitate a trade for Ward. Again, the Angels could be a team that's a controllable relief pitcher. That's another match right there. Maybe it's a reliever of something of the sort. Maybe what you could also do is try to facilitate a trade for Ward, and then after you trade for Ward, you can maybe spend some money at first base or spend some money in the infield at third or second, and then go out and trade for a first baseman. Whatever you've got to do to make your team better. But I think Taylor Ward makes a lot of sense for the Yankees. They can go after some left-handed bats after that. Santana 1-year deal, give me that trade. Then trade for Cody and Bregman. So I think that Carlos Santana makes sense for the Yankees because he hits left-handed pitching. He's a good platoon option with Ben Rice if he's not a stable everyday starter. And his swing plays at Yankee Stadium. If he doesn't fall off a cliff next year age-wise, and he's a 110 WRC plus hitter for the Yankees, that's a plus. That's a win that you won the contract. You feel very good about the value return on Carlos Santana here. 2 thumbs up. You'd be like, yep, feel good about what we did here. Did a job, switch hitter, hits lefties, like just thumbs up. Lots of thumbs up if that works out for the Yankees. Now, another comment I wanted to bring up. I get if you don't, sorry, not looking at this one here. Sorry. Is Cody Bellinger really a fit? We have like one hitter not named Judge that has a projection of a 120 to 125 or better WRC plus hitter. I agree from the standpoint that the Yankees they need a thumper. They need someone who's like, they're a big bat. They carry a big stick. But I do think that, you take projections with a grain of salt in this case. Someone like Bellinger, his home ballpark doesn't play as well for him as Yankee Stadium would. Maybe there's an argument to be made that if Bellinger plays more games at Yankees, if he played 81 games at Yankee Stadium versus having a 99 WRC plus at Wrigley, would he have a 115 WRC plus or 110? If he had a 110 WRC plus at home and he had his normal road numbers on the road, how good of a hitter would he be? Probably be a 120 to 125 WRC plus hitter. Granted, that's really bad. That's like not a projection. You can't do projections based off that. But I certainly think where you play affects how you'll hit. And I think that, for non-generational, non-superstar players, you want to fit your bat with ballpark. Isak Paredes is a good example. He fits better in Houston than Tampa Bay, that kind of situation. Now, as for like a pure thumper that the Yankees go out, again, I really like Yandy Diaz from this standpoint because he's a projectable hitter. You can project that he's going to give you strong offensive numbers. And you feel good about that projection. You feel like, yep, I'm getting a premium player here. I'm getting a premium hitter. It's why Diaz is an attractive option to me. It's why I really like bringing in someone like an Alex Bregman because, again, it's a projectable hitter, someone who you know is going to put up numbers. You could also say a Josh Naylor. These are guys with strong projections, and their projections are backed up by some good underlying data. And Nathaniel Lowe, for example, these guys have good underlying data, good projections. These are the kind of hitters where, you feel good about importing them onto your roster. I would love Pete Alonso on a 2-year deal. A 2-year deal, absolutely, yes. If it's like one of those Scott Boras, like last year, kind of like trial deals, I think it would make a lot of sense. And I know that people are going to, what are you talking about, blah, blah, blah. But like, let's be honest, right? Pete Alonso to a 2-year deal is good value. It just is, right? And you're hunting for good value on the market. You're not hunting really for specific players at this point in time. If you have Pete Alonso on your roster too, you have a power hitter. You have someone where you can now say, all right, I'm going to go prioritize defense everywhere else. Now, I'm just going to pull up my chair a little bit because, again, I want to feel tall. But I just personally view the Yankees as an organization where, they've got to find a way to get value. And they also want to maybe prioritize short-term commitments. That's kind of where I'm at. Go get Burns and Buehler, trade for Clark and Stroman. I feel like investing in Burns after you invest in Fried's a bad idea. Just trade for Buehler. If you wanted to trade Schmidt, you could sign Buehler. You can get a bat for Schmidt. That's what I would do. And then for Stroman, he's not in the rotation. You wouldn't add a starter because you subtracted Stroman. And I don't know how the Yankees are going to move off that money. I'm not particularly sure. I'm not 100% sure. Bo Bichette from the Blue Jays. Jack, great question. Bo Bichette would make a lot of sense for the Yankees because he's a middle infielder. And he's the kind of guy where, I think he's a really good hitter. I think he's a great player, but I don't think the Yankees are going to go get Bo Bichette for a couple of reasons. Number one, how much sense does it make for the Blue Jays to trade him now, right? It's not like, his value's at his highest. Like, you're going to get, a bevy of just unbelievable, you turn them down prospects. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that it's necessarily a good idea I don't think it's a reliable idea. NYY not in on any site. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if you meant anyone, but they are probably in on a lot of people. This is a great question. What do you think about Jurickson profile? A good left fielder, good left-handed batter. Well, he's a switch hitter, and he's not a very good defensive corner outfielder. I actually like the idea of playing him at first base. And this is an article I kind of want to tap into to work on tonight, get it out for you tomorrow. He's played 466 innings out there. He's got decent defensive numbers, and I actually think his bat works. It works. He hits the ball pretty hard now. Great plate skills, great contact rates. He's the kind of player where, you hit him like third, and, you've got the kind of hitter you maybe want to hit third or lead off and have, him lead off, Judge second. I actually like the idea of Jazz Chisholm hitting third. I think he's a very aggressive hitter who attacks the zone, and I really love that. Profar's 1 good year. Look, if he gets 7 years, obviously I wouldn't sign him. But if it's like a 3-year deal, right? I mean, let me get his projected contract. Sorry, I didn't mean to sniffle so loud. I have a very aggressive nose today, apparently. Let me just get let's pull up Fangraphs here, free agent tracker, and we'll find a way to so you guys can monitor with me and look at my screen. I feel like that'd be really productive, but we'll work on that. We're checking in on everything we can do. We're also active on the free agent market. So he's projected to get a 3-year, $45 million deal. He has no qualifying offer attached to him. I'm not saying he's going to get that. Let's look at some of the projected contracts. Tyler O'Neill is projected for $51 million, got 49. Severino, $48 million, got $67 million. Walker projected for $54 million, got 51. Kikuchi, $54 million, got 63. Evaldi, $60 million, $75 million. Snell was projected to get 4 years, $30 million a year. He got 5 years, $31 million a year. Fried was projected at 5 years, $125. The Yankees got him at 8 years, $218. So, it seems that more years is kind of where they're smoking Fangraphs on this stuff, and slightly better AAV on some cases. But if Profar's market isn't incredibly strong, could it be like a 3-year, $50 million deal, a 3-year, $51 million deal? Is he going to get more than Tyler O'Neill got on the market? I don't think so, right? So, I know that you guys are concerned about giving these one-off players, 1-year off players deals, and I am too, but I think Profar is someone where, I think he's just kind of solid. I think he just kind of works. He just does, right? He has solid projections, 116 WRC plus. He's a cheaper bat. You play him at first. Let's say you got a Bellinger to play left field, and then you signed a Bregman. You've got a pretty good lineup, right? It's a pretty solid lineup. It's a pretty good group. It's a group that could probably, muster together a strong enough offense to win games. We'll see. Well, I think that the market evaluation of him it hinges on the market evaluation of him. If some team offers 4 for 80, I'm good off that. I'm not doing that. So yeah. Place a parlay on Dominguez to win Rookie of the Year next year. I like it. If you are interested in betting, guys, check out Fireside Bets, by the way. The Yankees might trade for both Bellinger and Tucker, but the Yankees would have to absorb the remainder of Bellinger's contract. They might include other players. They're not going to get Bellinger and Tucker. They're not getting Tucker. It's not happening. The 3 hole is where the 5th best hitter goes, and I will die there. For lineup construction, I think the only things I care about is that your first guy gets on base, your second guy is your best hitter. And that's basically it. Outside of that, I care a lot about player archetype, player profile. Like, if I have let's say I have Luis Ariz on my team, or like prime DJ LeMahieu, I want to hit that hitter 5th probably, or 3rd, because I think that they're going to be hitters in front of them for them to drive in and kind of move around. Now Ariz I'd hit 5th, prime DJ I'd hit 3rd for context. But that kind of situation. Now, if they have a lot of power, 5th, right? 4th, that's a good spot. Usually your best hitter is hitting 2nd. And if your best hitter is hitting 2nd, probably a power hitter, right? There are very few 2 hitters who don't hit for power. There are very few best hitters on a team that don't have any pop. I'm trying to think, like, who's WRC plus hitters. That's a fun experiment. Let's see, like WRC plus hitters on different teams. The Angels, their best hitter in terms of WRC plus. We're going to go qualified. We're going to go minimum 300 plate appearances. It was Luis Rengifo. Their second best was Zach Neto at 114. I'd say Zach Neto would probably hit 2nd on this team. He hit 20 home runs, right? Astros, Kyle Tucker, Jordan Alvarez. Yeah, no bullshit. Brent Rooker, Blue Jays, Vlad, Horwitz has some pop. Braves, Ozuna, Olsen, Riley, all have power. Let's stop complicating things. Go get Walker. Here's where I think a deal hasn't gotten done. The Yankees probably want to go 3 years. So this is what I understood. The Yankees gave him a 3-year deal. That 3-year deal, I'm not sure all 3 years were guaranteed. Walker wants 4 years. Understandably so. Very good player. One free agency. Of course he's going to ask for 4 years. He's going to ask for more than what teams are willing to give him. That's just negotiations. But with that being said, I think, yes, the Yankees will not. I guarantee you the Yankees will not cave and give him 4 guaranteed years. What I guarantee you will happen is that the Yankees will stay at 3 years. Maybe they'll guarantee a 3rd year. Maybe, but they won't go above that. Nats probably get Walker. I think that the Nationals have to prove to me they're willing to spend before I pencil them in as spenders. So, yeah. Best OBP, best hitter, 5th best hitter, 2nd best hitter, 3rd best, and the rest whatever. I think I'm a whatever after the 2. I'm a whatever after the 2, but I think this is objectively the right way to construct a lineup. It's just that I kind of stopped caring after. Like, I think lineup optimization is a little bit overrated. You just kind of want to make sure you score runs. You just want to have good hitters who score runs. Obviously, if you're hitting your best hitter like 9th, that's stupid, but yeah. Weaver, Duvall, Williams, that'd be a nasty trio. I think the Yankees are out on trading like significant capital. By significant capital, I mean like a significant piece on this team or bullpen to acquire someone for the bullpen. I think they'll go cheap there. So, but obviously, yes, Duvall would be sick, man. Duvall would rock. What do you think Jason ends up WRC plus wise? I'm going to say a 105. Assuming he's healthy, I'm going to say a 105. I'm going to be a little more pessimistic than Steamer, and I'm going to say a 105. Walker wants to be on a contender. That too. Like, he hasn't won a World Series. Like, do you want to rot away on I guess at this point, it's like the Nationals offer you way more money, right? You're just going to take the Nationals offer. I think that if they're close, I think you'd take the Yankees offer. But there are other contenders out there. The Yankees aren't the only contending team in the world. What if another team walks up and goes, hey, here's the Mets. They show up and go, we want you, Walker. He's not going to take a discount to go to the Yankees over the Mets, right? So that's where I'm at. We talked about this with Luis Ariz, kind of against giving up significant capital to get him, which I think you'd have to give up a pretty piece to get him. Showing for Naylor, Guardians laugh at that offer. I like Judge in the 3-hole. I like him in the 2-hole at this point. With the roster they have now, he's got to hit 2nd. That is also a great point. Judge hitting 1st is something the Yankees tried, and I actually liked it for a little bit. So, I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against that. The only thing I'm against is Judge hitting anywhere below, like, I'm firmly against him hitting below 3rd, of course, but I'm kind of against him not hitting the top 2. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, the Mets could be involved on Walker. They're a team that does need a corner infielder. They've had some rumored interest in Bregman. They were reportedly going to have some interest in Christian Walker. I'd be kind of shocked if they're just out on Walker at this point. Yankees should see what it takes for Jake McCarthy. I think it's going to cost him a starter, and I don't think they're going to be able to trade a starter. I wouldn't trade it for McCarthy. I'd go and get like a significantly better bat. Want Rengifo so bad. I'm good on him. I don't think he's a very good player. I don't know why people want Walker. He's 33 and batted 251. He just put up a 119 WRC plus and hits the crap out of the ball. I think he is a very good player, and he's a premium defensive player. The A's need to get their payroll up. I wonder if they have any interest in Stroman or DJ. I think Stroman would obviously be the player they have more interest in. I wonder if they're willing to do it. I really do. I'm big on Bohm. What do you think? I think Alec Bohm makes sense for this team. Like, he just does. Like, he's a good enough hitter. He's a good enough defender. You put Jazz at second. Bohm's fine at the corner infield spot. He's going to be playing next to Volpe. We know that shortstop defense can affect third base defense. That's important to note. And, you know, he's got a solid bat. He hit pretty well last year. I was very enticed by some of the changes he made. He hit the ball pretty hard, lifted the ball a little more. And the last thing I'd like to note when it comes to Bohm is I thought he wasn't going to cost much in the trade market. Dave Dombrowski asked for Mason Miller from the A's for him, and he asked for, I think he was like Bohm and Castellanos. Was that the offer for Tucker? And then they asked for like Logan Gilbert and Bryce Miller, and he's going to cost so much. I don't think the Yankees have a realistic shot to get him, although I do think he kind of fits them pretty well. Arise at second, Santander in right field. It's just the defense would be so bad. This team would be so bad defensively. And you can't be a bad defensive team if you're not going to have Juan Soto on it, in my opinion. I didn't see this, but if that's true, then obviously that knocks them out for that. As of right now, I'm hesitant on signing a player with a QO. I don't care about the more draft picks, but the loss of IFA money is concerning. We're supposed to sign a generational IFA. So I think that money for the IFA will be fine. I think they just cut out other players. And then the one thing I'd like to say in regards to signing players to QO, I am actually hesitant as well. I don't think you should just go QO, QO, QO. I think they should sign one more guy with the QO max, and that's it. I think that's kind of their thought process as well. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't sign any more guys with the qualifying offer. Chance of getting Teoscar Hernandez, I'd say low, right? Like, I haven't heard a lot of smoke there, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to say low. Bohm could also play first base. He could, but the options on the infield market in terms of guys in the dirt, third or second, is very limited. I would be shocked if they brought in Bohm to play second or third, first over third when, you know, you can get a first baseman. You can sign one, right? You can sign a Carlos Santana. You can sign a Pete Alonso. You can sign a Christian Walker. And yes, Pete Alonso has a qualifying offer. Santander isn't hot trash. He's a good player. He's just not a good fit for the New York Yankees. Bellinger, Naylor, and a good infielder with a high OBP would be great. Yeah, that'd rock. That would be awesome for the Yankees. They'd be a much better team because of it. They would be. I just don't know how attainable, who that high OBP infielder is. I don't. I'm looking kind of right now, and, you know, you look at the OBP guys at second base, you know, you have guys like Ketel Marte, Jonathan India had already been traded. That's not going to happen. Like a Richie Palacios, I don't really think the Rays are moving him. Brendan Donovan, like, you'd have to trade up a piece to get him. Nico Horner, you know, you'd have to trade a significant piece to get him. Gavin Lux is someone who I think could be interesting. That's someone who I think the Yankees could get to play second base for them. But, you know, that's all speculatory on my end. I'm not really. I don't. What about Nathaniel Lowe for first base? I think it's completely possible. You know, I think it's very possible the Yankees have the bullpen depth to get him. So, yeah. Yankees are on Carlos Estevez. I'm against Carlos Estevez. I don't think he's a particularly dominant reliever. I think you can get better relief talent for cheaper. He's got, you know, significantly better. He doesn't have the type of swing and miss stuff that I would like to see from other guys. I know what's going on, 9. He's not that good, Lowe. Lowe's a good player. He's a good player. I do think Estevez is a bit overrated for sure. How will go cheap up the middle? I disagree. I don't know who he's going to get. Who is internally going to play second base? If they were going to do that, they would have kept Caleb Durbin, in my opinion. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong. Agreed. Glad we agree. Mine is rolling with the big guys. Same here. I don't really know what's gonna come to fruition and what won't. Let's get Nico Horner. I'm not sure the Cubs are gonna move him at this point, but if they do, I would certainly love that. I would certainly love that. Josh Naylor would be great for the Yankees if they trade for him. I would agree. I think he'd be great for the Yankees if they traded for him. I feel like Santander would be your best bet to get a big bat in. He could be. I think Hernandez is a good choice for that too. I just think the defense, again, it's the defensive fit, right? It's defense. That's the one problem. If you guys aren't subscribed, by the way, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for your support. Again, it's just, I can't believe how many people are here. So what do you think the Yankees will do? And this is a super chat from Demigod_TL. Thank you, Demigod TL. Let me see if I can get this rocking for you guys. I've been holding on to that for like a while on the soundboard. I don't know if I even played for you guys, but can you guys let me know in chat if something played for you, if you guys heard that in the background? Let me know if that happened. What I think the Yankees will do, I think they'll get a first baseman. I think it could be Nathaniel Lowe. I think that they match up well for him. In left field, I think it's gonna be Bellinger. Infield's tough. They could pay for Bregman. They could pay for Kim. Kim wouldn't have a qualifying offer. Bregman would. They could try to get Horner from the Cubs. Don't see that happening anymore. Not entirely sure. But what they could do is if they traded a reliever, and they traded a reliever for a Low, they could sign another reliever. Maybe they sign Tim Hill and then add someone else on top of that. That would certainly be interesting, but we'll wait and see. I think that they're going to spend on 3 different bats, whether it's through the trade or the free agent market. Yeah, it's unfortunate. The bats are either QO guys. You either got to start stacking up the QOs and sacrificing picks, or you're in a tough spot. You're in a tough spot where you've got to trade guys and you got to replenish them. How about Yanni Diaz? Yanni Diaz would be an excellent, and I mean excellent fit. It really would have been. It would have been awesome. He'd be a great addition for the offense. But obviously defensively, there's a concern there, and I wonder if the Yankees are just kind of against it for that. Get another super chat from Big Sexy Yankee. Get one going for you. I appreciate you, man. You were getting something there on OBP of 308. Look, his OBP, obviously, it's not high, but he's a good hitter despite it, right? There are good hitters who have low OBPs. He hits the absolute bejeebus out of the ball. He had a 225 BABIP too. I expect that to go up. I do not expect Anthony Santander to ever run a 225 BABIP again. Granted, because he hit a lot of home runs, I do think it would be close to like 240. But I do expect the home run rate to go down, but I don't think the OBP, I don't really care that the OBP was that low. He is a good hitter. He is objectively a good hitter. He just isn't a leadoff hitter. He just isn't a high OBP hitter, right? It's kind of like saying, I'm gonna make such a good analogy right now, because we're gonna use 2 hitters who had similar WRC plus numbers last year. We're gonna use obviously Santander, who had a 129 WRC plus, and we're gonna use someone like. We're going to use Steven Kwan. Steven Kwan had a 425 slugging percentage. His slugging percentage wasn't good last year. That doesn't make him a bad player. He just doesn't slug, right? You just wouldn't hit Steven Kwan third. You wouldn't hit him fourth. You wouldn't clean him up. You wouldn't do that. But you would hit him You would hit him first, right? He isn't a productive hitter. Getting on base isn't the only skill you can provide to an offense. Slug is a skill. Slug is a skill that's desirable. Maybe it's one you don't think the Yankees should pay for. That's fine. But you can be... Just because you're bad at something, or not bad, just because you don't provide OBP skills doesn't mean you're a bad hitter. Just because you don't provide slug doesn't make you a bad hitter. It just makes you not a slugger or not an OBP guy, if that makes sense. He's live and die by a long ball. Look, again, you don't have to want Anthony Santander, but there's a difference between Anthony Santander has a low OBP, so he doesn't make sense for the Yankees, and Anthony Santander has a low OBP. You can't bring him in if you're not going to bring in OBP guys. That's a little more fair. But yeah, you could absolutely pull an offseason together where the Yankees could 100% make it a lineup where they're obviously very much better with Santander hitting third than anything else. Santander is awesome. Santander rocks. He's a great hitter. He makes a lot of sense for Yankee Stadium. He's just not a good defensive player, and it doesn't make sense for the Yankees at all to bring him in for those reasons. We're going to wrap up in about 10 minutes. Just kind of wanted to keep this one short, but I appreciate you guys pulling up. We're going to get a lot of these questions in now. If you know that you cannot obtain Sasaki, and that's what people like Curry have hinted at, then why be concerned about the QO? Draft picks, and you're going to lose a lot. The Yankees will lose 4 of their 6 draft picks for next year. And then international free agent money matters for acquiring other prospects. The Yankees do have verbal agreements in place, and they would like to acquire these players because it makes when you can't draft in the top 10 or top 15 because you're always contending, you need a hit on your international free agents because the quality of player you select at 25 or 29, or in the Yankees case, it's like 38 this year. They're over luxury tax. Their pick is down 10 spots. When you're consistently picking towards the back of the draft, not even in the top 35, right? You need to get international free agents. You need to get your guys. And I think it's very important for the Yankees to obviously have international free agent money. I'm glad the Wicked Cal 50 brought that up because it's very important. And I think it does factor into their thought process. The Mets are not trading Jet Williams for Stroman. That's like if I suggested the Yankees should trade Jason Dominguez for Jordan Montgomery. Jet Williams is one of the best prospects in baseball. He is a premium defensive player. He can play shortstop at a high level. He can play second base at a high level. He can play center field at a high level. He's got really good contact skills. He's done a very, very good job of, generating game power. He's truly, in my opinion, the next really strong middle infielder. I'm very excited to see how he performs at the next level. So, yeah, I don't think that would ever happen. Trade Spencer Jones. If the right deal comes up, sure. The Yankees shouldn't force it, though. Bellinger and Lau for first base. Certainly helps your left-handed side of your left-handed hitting. You'd get a guy I think can hit 20 home runs or 25 home runs in Cody Bellinger at Yankee Stadium over a course of 150 games. Lowe is someone who, if he makes certain swing adjustments, could certainly pop at Yankee Stadium. But even if he doesn't, I think he'll be a solid player who provides some OBP and gets on base. He's kind of like a souped up version of Lamont Wade Jr. He's a better version of Lamont Wade Jr. is the best way to put it. And that's something that's valuable to the Yankees. That's a valuable player, in my opinion. I think Spence will be much better next year, too. It's possible. He had a really nice end to his season. He performed really well in the postseason for the Somerset Patriots. He is an explosive player. He's got excellent offensive tools. He's an excellent defensive player at a premium position in center field. He has excellent base stealing abilities. Again, it's about the right trade, right? If the Yankees can trade Spencer Jones and get a player that significantly boosts their odds of winning the World Series, they should explore that. If they can't get a player of significance, they should not force a trade for Spencer Jones. He's untouchable. He should be untouchable for the Mets. Not untouchable, but like untouchable for most players. You should not be trading Jet Williams for, even not a Luis Castillo even. You shouldn't be trading Jet Williams for Luis Castillo. So, yeah. George Lombard Jr. breakout will save us. I apologize. I think my internet's being a little bit weird. So for George Lombard Jr., he has all the talent in the world. The industry perspective, the industry opinion of George Lombard Jr. is, from my understanding, a lot better than the public perception. The public perception of George Lombard Jr. lags behind the industry perception. That's always a good, prospect evaluation is very different inside organizations than it is, in the public sphere. There are some players who are believed to be pretty good players in the industry that aren't viewed as such in the external sphere or in the fan sphere. And then if you look at the fan sphere, there are some prospects where their values floated way above what the industry views them as. Oswald Peraza was a player where a lot of organizations didn't really like him, but we thought, there were a lot of fans, including myself, we thought he was pretty good. And, you kind of eat up the hype, you eat up what we publicly know. That's a little bit different. So, Lombard Jr., I think he's someone who's kind of the inverse of an Oswald Peraza. Not enough hype, a lot of industry buzz about him. Yeah, San Diego does want to keep clear cap space, but I don't think they have any players outside of Dylan Cease who are particularly attractive to the Yankees. What I have liked for the Yankees, and I'm going to just move my seat up, but if it's going to, there we go. I would love if the Yankees could have gotten a Dylan Cease. Obviously, he's a premium starting pitcher and he rocks, but I don't think that was going to happen. So, yeah. Machado third, Lowe first, Bellinger left. I love the left and first. Hate the idea of Machado playing third. Got another super chat from Rican Rug Dealer. Let's get this playing for you. That rocks. Appreciate you for the super chat. Padres looking to shed salary, Manny Machado. I don't think Machado is an option for the Yankees. I don't think he's a great contract to take on. I think that he's going to age relatively poorly in that deal. It's a lot of money. I don't think the Yankees want to take on a $300 million deal. And the final thing I'd like to put on when it comes to Machado is I also don't know if the Padres would want to trade him. If they can trade other players, if that makes sense. Like, they also want to win. So, yeah. Volpe hitting 225 would be completely fine as long as he wasn't a noodle bat. I'd prefer him hit closer to 240 because the OBP, your OBP is higher if your average is higher. If you had I think the best way to look at it is if he had a 330 OBP and he had some slug. He's had a 330 OBP and slugged 440. It's a good player, man. He's a really fucking good defensive player. Excuse my French. Really good base runner. That's a 4 to 5 WAR player, right? That's an excellent ball player. For me, the target here is the OBP. Can the OBP be like 330, 340? Because I think the slug will be good enough next year. Do you think this is Volpe's last chance? No, because he's a great defensive player. No. This is not close to his last chance. He's a great defensive player. The Yankees will keep playing him because he's so good defensively. I don't think they're even thinking about moving off him, unless, of course, an upgrade on the market comes about that they can't just pass up on. Do you think Devin Williams gets extended? That's a great question. I think it's a little better. It's something that I'm not confident in saying either way, if that makes sense. Do I think it makes sense for them to extend him? Like, yeah, but at what price point? And then if it's like, well, on a team-friendly deal, but like, why would Devin Williams do that? You know what I mean? Because like, why would Devin Williams take a team-friendly deal? He's one of the best relievers in the game. So I don't know. I don't think these two sides will end up getting to extension. What I do think they should do is maybe extend Luke Weaver. I think that's attainable. Have it kick in for next year. Then you have Williams, your only free agent, key free agent reliever. Ryan is Dominican. I have no proof, but no doubts either. Yes, both my parents are born in the Dominican Republic. Would you be happy with Grisham on left field for 2025? I would be upset with Grisham in left field. I think Grisham isn't a starting caliber left fielder. I think he's a good fourth outfielder. I'd prefer if they got Bellinger to play left field, and then just kind of went from there. Ian Hamilton's super underrated. Absolutely. He's a really strong reliever. What if Williams pitches like Rivera next year? Then they would. Yes, but extension is different than signing in free agency. Extension would be sign him now or sign him during the season. Hitting free agency, that's different. Oh my God. Hold on. Chris. Oh my God. Thank you. I don't even know. I'm going to play. I don't know if this is even good enough, but. I can't even. Thank you. Hey, I'm working my tail off, trying to do what we can do. I know we're all working our tail off here. Chris, thank you. Wow. Yeah. I don't even know what to say, man. I don't even know what to say, dude. Thank you. I wish there's something else I could sell, man. Holy shit, dude. That's crazy. No, that's fucking wild. Dude, thank you. I did not have to do that. I really wow. No shit, dude. Holy cow. I'm gonna take a little sip of water here. I'm gonna cool down a little bit. Chris, thank you, man. Thank you. Really appreciate you. If you, I don't know if you have Twitter, man. DM me, man. At Ryan Garcia SM. DM me, dude. Please. Like, if you have Twitter, please hit me up, man. Please. I appreciate you, dog. There goes your Christmas skip. Yeah. Appreciate you, dog. Thank you, man. Thank you. I'll make sure it goes to something good. I promise you it'll go to something productive. Who's someone the Yankees could realistically trade for to play the infield? Brendan Donovan, again, is someone who I frequently mention. Could they buy low on Nolan Gorman? I would love to see that. We've got another one from Drew. Holy shit. You guys are going stupid on this. Drew Thorpe. Dude, you've been, you were here since last year at the streams. It was mad funny because he was Drew Thorpe before they traded Drew Thorpe. So we would just be like, thank you, man. No, holy shit, dude. Thank you. No, I really appreciate you, man. You've been here, you've been on every single stream basically that we've done. So Drew, thank you, dude. Appreciate you, dog. You're my guy. You know that. I don't know who you are outside of Drew Thorpe. You could actually be Drew Thorpe. It'd be really funny if this was actually Drew Thorpe. But yeah, no, dude, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you a lot, man. Yeah. Jeff McNeil would be perfect for the Yankees. I actually really think Jeff McNeil would make sense for the Yankees. Is that crazy to say, guys? Am I stupid? Have you guys looked at Jeff McNeil's expected home runs? I just don't think the Mets are going to trade him, but and it would obviously be horrible PR to trade with the Mets after they just took Soto from you. Yeah, Dude, he's a really good fit. He'd be a really good fit at Yankee Stadium for sure. I don't think Vivas is will be ready yet. I think he needs another year, but I've heard good things about him as an organization. And look, he started hitting the crap out of the ball. So, I think that would really be a fun addition for the New York Yankees. But of course, I would love to know what you guys think. Bregman, I love Bregman out. I do love Alex Bregman. I think he's a really strong fit. I wrote an article this morning about him. You guys can check it out at EmpireSportsMedia.com. It's also pinned on my Twitter at Ryan Garcia SM if you want to check it out. I talked a little bit about his batted ball profile, talked a little bit about his second half, some of the swing changes he made. I was really encouraged by some of those. So if you guys want to check that out for sure. That's fair to think that they're not going to get Bregman. There are, what if the Red Sox decide, you know what? No, we really want this guy. What if the Tigers side, no, we really want this guy. What if another organization decides they really want this guy? So, that's fair. Yeah, I think Peraza will be traded or DFA'd and traded for not much. And look, I'm sorry, but I just don't think Peraza had the value that we thought he did. I guess that's what happened. Or, maybe it's true that, Cashman just oversold his value and didn't buy early. I'm not against saying the Yankees F something up. I don't know what happened or how it happened. I would love to know the inside stories on that. Who would you like for middle relief? I think the Yankees are pretty set in terms of the bullpen. I'd like maybe a Tim Hill to just add another lefty. I don't think TJ Rumfield's ready for first base. I think that, he's not a major league caliber player. Personally, this is my hopium copium, but I think the Bregman Yankee rumors are just Boras trying to get more money from the Tigers. That isn't crazy to say. I genuinely think there's a lot of smoke to that. There is a lot of reason to believe that Boras is puffing us up in this market. McNeil's met Gardner. They'll never move him, and then he'll vanish one day. His team will miss him once he's gone. I like that take. There is a lot of the Yankees would be a lot better with Brett Gardner, wouldn't they? Don't you guys miss Brett Gardner? I really miss Brett Gardner these days. Don't want Bregman, save it for Tucker. There's definitely other options. The infield market is pretty thin. But again, I think that, there are ways to improve. Again, I mentioned Nolan Gorman. Is Nolan Gorman a good defender? No, he's not a very good defensive player, to say the very least. But he's someone who, I could have interest in. He had a down year last year, but maybe he's someone who can play a lot better at Yankee Stadium. Again, guy with dead pull power, maybe performs a little better at third base. He's not a particularly strong defensive second baseman. He's a young guy, still 24 years old. He's someone who, I would have interest in the Yankees trying to acquire. He does hit the ball really hard. Not a ton of OBP here because there's not a ton of average. There's not a lot of contact skills here. There is that concern. He'd just be a massive swing and miss guy, but he has the kind of power that plays at Yankee Stadium. I'm going to get you guys his expected home runs, his expected numbers. He underperformed his expected stats this year. He hits the crap out of the ball, man. He's got some serious thump in his bat, but his bat doesn't play too well at Yankee Stadium. That's weird. Maybe I don't want him. I thought the bat played a little better here. Something that Bregman brings is playoff experience. Yeah, he does have crazy playoff experience. That's something I think that is valuable to an extent. If the Yankees make the next highest bid for Vladdy by $50 million, would he sign here? That's a great question. I think he would. I think deep down he would. Yeah, I don't think Spencer Jones is a big leaguer right now. He isn't. And we got another one. Thank you, Dominic Frankilo, Yankee Baseball. Dominic, is there a question you'd like to ask? If you want us to follow up with a question, doesn't have to be in the super chat. Let me know, man. I'll be happy to answer any question you have to ask. If you guys get a super chat, which I obviously really appreciate, thank you all. And if you just forget to submit the question, please, you can submit the question right after. I'll do my best to get at it. Thank you for the thing. And I'm going to, of course, and we got another one. Jesus Christ, you guys are doing too much today. Oh, you guys are doing too much today for me. You guys are doing too much today for me. Of course, I got to hit you with we might be able to fund. We might just screw Tanner Scott. Yeah, we'll fund Tanner Scott. That's what we'll do. I'll start funding. Yeah, we're gonna go sign Alex Bregman with this money, guys. We're gonna go get Bregman. We're gonna go get Tanner Scott. We're gonna go get Soto again. Who had 630? I don't think the Yankees are going $600 million for Vlad. I honestly wouldn't go $600 million for Vlad. But if they went to 630 for Vlad, they would 100% sign Vlad. It beat any offer by $100 million. I think, guarantee you that. Don't think they go for 600 for that. Bro, thank you. I appreciate, Bean. I appreciate you, man. We've been grinding as a channel. I'm here tonight, but Alex is always working on stuff here. He writes a ton of articles. Sam's always doing the short form content. My boy Quinton putting together clips and all that stuff. So, all that stuff. And we got Christian. I just, yeah, man. Yeah. Go fund me, Alex Bregman. That's so funny, dude. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Do you think Tucker makes it to free agency this year? Yes, I think he does. I think he'll get through because I think the Cubs will make an aggressive offer, but not an aggressive enough offer to keep him. An extension, though. I think if he hits free agency, I think the Cubs are willing to make an aggressive bid. College funds, that's also a great point. But we could let's go sign a free agent. Let's go sign a free agent with this. I wanted Carlos Correa to be a Yankee so bad. I would love it, man. The GoFundMe work for it did work for Rodon. Bregman next. Is Bregman the player we want to do it for? We'll see. Mets will not make the playoffs. I disagree. I think they'll make the playoffs. I think they'll do so pretty comfortably. What's your realistic offseason prediction? Someone said in here, and I wanted to get to it because it was such a good realistic one by Sleepy Boy. I actually think this is completely realistic. Willie Castro, Christian Walker, and Cody Bellinger. Completely realistic. All short-term money. All those guys would probably be off the books in the next 2 to 3 years. So fully think all three of these players fully believe that this is realistic and could happen. I wouldn't give Vlad a long-term contract. You know what, man? You're not in the minority. I am very skeptical of his long-term projections offensively. He's not a great defensive first baseman. I'd rather spend the money on Kyle Tucker. Tucker plus Bellinger, full money retained, but they're not trading Tucker. But I don't think this gets a deal done. Well, he'll lose the deal. Sorry, I only read beater. Yes, this will get a deal done if the Cubs are willing to move Tucker, but they're not. I think that the Yankees, right now there's no big name to fill it. I would agree, though. At this point in time, you need to get good players everywhere you can get them. So, yeah. If Jones continues his end-of-season changes, he'll be in the major by the end of the season. I agree. If he keeps up the lowered strikeout rates and the improved game power, yes, he could be a legit major leaguer. He's a great defender. He's got not generational, but super good raw power. Vlad is a much worse defensive investment because he's a first baseman versus a corner outfielder, but I guess that's kind of a moot point at this point. I think Soto's a more consistent hitter. Soto has always been a great hitter. Vlad has years where he's not a great hitter. He's just a decent one. And yes, Vlad would be awesome at DH. It's just a very expensive DH. The Mets lineup is very good in my opinion. It's very good. I disagree. Predict the Yankees record as a team if it stands right now. I think they win 88 to 90 games. That's where I'm at. 88 to 90 games. At this moment. So 90 and 72 or 88 and 74, between that range. Are we concerned that free deal hasn't been confirmed by the Yankees yet? If I'm not concerned, I think the Yankees are holding out just because they can make it official whenever, and that eats up a 40-man spot. I assume that the Yankees are trying to figure out what's going on with their 40-man, how they're constructed, and what trades they can pull off in the next couple of days. I didn't realize you're just going for views. I mean, we did not throw in the thumbnail that we had Vlad. So, there's that. I'm just talking about it because I'm just going off about things. There is nothing new outside of the Heyman report that there's something close. Not close, that there was talks that they're still far apart money-wise. I say 88 wins without the future moves. Same here. Bring Josh Donaldson back. That's beautiful, man. I think Willie Castro is a good solution for second base. Getting Christian Walker at first base and center left field Cody Bellinger. If he's on vacation, that also makes sense too. I would love Yohan Duran, but I don't think the Yankees are going to trade for another closer after trading for Devin Williams. Gallup first base would be funny. That'd be really fucking funny. I'm going to wrap up here though. We're past the hour point. I appreciate you guys all sticking around. If you have some final questions, kind of throw these in there now because I'm going to start wrapping up now. I'm going to get all the appreciate you out of the way and the plugs, and then I'll go back to the questions so I can give you guys time to pile the questions up. And I have this question staying up as my kind of buffer, to know which questions I have not answered yet. So personally, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for everything, for tonight, for the streams, for the month so far, for the year, for everything. Appreciate everything you guys have done for us. You guys can check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and of course this YouTube page. Check out Fireside Yankees on all those pages at Fireside Yankees or on Instagram at fireside.yankees. You guys check out EmpireSportsMedia.com for written coverage of all of your favorite New York sports teams, including the New York Yankees. My articles Those are up there as well. You can follow me at Twitter at Ryan Garcia ESM and check out the other Fireside pages. We got Fireside Giants, Fireside Rangers, Fireside Knicks. They're all popping. All those teams are in season. Unfortunately for the Giants, we're in season. So yeah, and now we're gonna get into some of these questions. Yep, 86 and 87 wins. That's fair too. Saki's holding everyone up. He hasn't been he cannot sign yet, so I don't think so. Camilo Duvall, if it's cheap, I think the Yankees would explore it, but after acquiring Devin Williams, I think they're going to focus most of their trade capital on bats. You're not a big fan of Santana. That's fair. Look, it's fair to say he's old. I'm not in on it. That's totally fair with me. Get me some Clint Frazier and Aaron Hicks too. That'd be funny. You think the Mets lineup is good? Yes, I think it's very good. Lindor, Soto, Vientos, Nimmo, those guys can mash, dude. Great live, bro. Thank you, Jerry Rivera. Rafael Flores will be the next big catcher to be called up. I think he'll transition to first place, and Doc, I buy into his bat. He's got crazy thump, crazy juice in the bat. He hits the ball really hard, and he's got decent enough contact rates and really good in-zone aggression with good plate discipline. He's a good hitter. He's got the chance to be a serious, legit bat at the next level. Huge Duvall guy, same. I just don't think the Yankees are going to go out and get him at this point in time. Yankees' chance at getting Roki Sasaki, 5%. Ozzy Albies from the Braves, don't think he's traded. Gleyber Torres signed for 6 years, over $100 million, and deserve every penny closing statement. I think he'll sign a flyer deal, rebuild his value, and then sign a 6-year, $130 million deal. What's up, Brian? How close are the Yankees and Cody Bellinger to finalizing a deal? I don't know how close they are. It seems that there's mutual interest in a deal there. I don't see the New York Yankees caving at the moment right now. Robert says, Ryan, I've loved the connection you and everyone have been posting over the past year, the content you've been posting for the past year. Keep up the good work. Robert, appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much. And appreciate you for sticking up through for the 2024 year. And, we're winding down the year, obviously, but I appreciate you, man. Jesus Rodriguez may be underrated for the Yankees. He's got a good bat. He's got some decent juice. He's got tons of contact, good swing decision guy. 5% for Sasaki. Need a better backup catcher, fourth outfielder. I think they're fine there. We still haven't done anything in terms of getting bats. I think they'll get to that at some point. Getting Murakami, I don't know if the Yankees want Murakami with his contact rates, but we'll see. I do think he's very comparable to Joey Gallo. Second half of the Mets lineup is mid, for sure, but they have such a good top half of the lineup. I think they make up for it. And even the quote-unquote mid guys are really good defenders or speed guys. You've got, Francisco Alvarez, good defensive catcher, Jeff McNeil, good defensive infielder, Acuna's brother, Luis Angel Acuna, not a very good hitter, very good fielder, very, very good defensive player, very talented defensive player. Could win a Gold Glove somewhere. So, there's a lot of depth there in that regard. Love your takes, Ryan. Never trash the Mets. Love your attitude. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate you, man. What about Josh Smith? Don't think the Rangers move him. Apparently it's not close to happening for Bellinger. Yeah, I don't think anything's I don't think something's happening in the next 10 seconds. I don't think he said he was willing to play third base. I think he was asked to play third base. Will Stroman be traded to the Yankees? I think the Yankees could get Taylor Rogers for Marcus Stroman if they eat some money. And yeah, Bellinger's been close for like 2 weeks. Closest move to being done, I'd say Bellinger, right? Mets versus Yankees today is close. Yeah, they're very formidable rosters. They're on the same level. Yeah, Jesus Rodriguez is really good, man. He's got a lot of good traits. Get Rengifo, I'm firmly against it. Thank you again for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your night. I'm Ryan Garcia. This is Fireside Yankees. Let's go Yankees, everyone. Let's go do it. Let's go. Hopefully the Yankees get some bats. And next time we talk to you guys, we can talk about an offensive upgrade. Love you all. Peace out. Have a great rest of your night.